Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Now, in this video, another video of basic fiqh presentation, we'll be talking about the Solah upon the dead. We have talked about the ghusl, we've talked about the shrouding of the dead. So now we talk about the Solah upon the dead. So how do you perform Solah upon the dead? So there are many issues under this. There are many issues under this. First, we talk about the ruling. What is the ruling for making Salah upon the dead? It is collectively compulsory. We remember the meaning of collectively compulsory. The meaning of collectively compulsory when we're talking about um, Eid. So the ruling is that it is collectively compulsory, which means that if a particular set of people, you know, do it and those people are sufficient for it, then it is no longer compulsory on the rest. So just like you have in Salatul Eid also. So the two Eid. So the prerequisites, the preconditions are similar. So they are just the same prerequisites for daily Salah. That is ablution, the Qibla, the facing of the Qibla, the covering of nakedness and the likes. So they are just the same thing. So, but there are little differences when it comes to observing the Salah itself. So, and that we'll talk about it very soon. So the Arkan, we're not doing of Arkan now. The Arkan plural for Ruknu. I keep repeating it. Plural for Ruknu. There are actions that are within an act of worship, like in this case, the Salah upon the dead within it. So, and the act of worship is not considered correct without it. So, whether left out deliberately or not. So, the Arkan, one is standing for one who is able to. So for somebody that is able to stand, so it is part of the arkan that he stands. So and then four takbirat, making four takbirat. So it's also part of the arkan. So how do you make this four takbirat, and what do you say in between? So we'll talk about this very soon. And recitation of Fatiha. Recitation of Fatiha is also part of the arkan. So just like you have it in other salawat as well. Then making salah upon the Prophet, also part of the arkan, also part of the arkan. Then also prayer for the dead, also part of the arkan, and taslim. That is, these are the things you will see. These are the things you will do in the salah upon the dead. We still talk about the methodology of salah upon the dead. So we'll talk about the methodology very soon. So, and lastly, the orderliness between the arkan, the orderliness. So there's a particular order for it, and we'll talk about that when we get to the methodology. So sunnah, that is the sunnah act. The first is raising the hands, that is when saying the takbirat. So al-isti'aza, that is saying a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Then also supplication for self and Muslims. So making supplication for self and Muslims. At what point do you do this? So we'll talk about it during the methodology. So and reciting quietly. So it's also part of the arkan. So the time, what is the time for the Salah upon the day? At what time can you observe Salah upon the day? You observe Salah upon the day after the ghusl and then the shrouding. After you have taken the bath for the dead, and then you have wrapped the dead, in white clothes, the way we have explained in the previous video. Then the standing position for the imam and single worshipper. So somebody that wants to pray upon the dead, the imam that wants to pray upon the dead, at what position with respect to the dead will he stand? Because the dead will be placed in front of him. So at what position will he stand to the dead? So we stand towards the edge for a male. If the dead happens to be a male, we will stand towards the edge. So the dead will be placed in front of him, and he will stand towards the edge, for a male, and for a female, it stands towards the waist for female. So methodology that is coming up in the next slide. So the methodology is that you do the opening takbir, which is of course very normal, and we are used to that. So the opening takbir, and then you make your isti'az and basmala. That is a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, bismillahir rahmanir rahim. So you do that and you move to the next step, and which is reciting Fatiha quietly. So that is the first takbir. That we are getting it. So after the first takbir, you do these things, and then you move to the second takbir. Remember when we did the previous slide, we mentioned four takbirat. So now we move to the second takbir. So in the second takbir, what you do is make salah upon the Prophet. After the second takbir, you make salah upon the Prophet. So after that, you are done with the second takbir. And now you move to the third takbir. You know the meaning of takbir. Takbir saying is means saying Allahu Akbar. So you move to the third takbir, and the third takbir you say the prescribed supplication for the dead, the prescribed supplications for the dead. So that's what you say in the third takbir, and in the fourth takbir, you you make the fourth takbir, and after the fourth takbir, you're supposed to make your taslim. So, but preferably it is good that because you wait a little. So, in the process of waiting, it is good that you supplicate while waiting, and that is what we mentioned in the previous slide. So, after that, you make just a single taslim. So, when you once you have done this single taslim, then you are done with the solar. So, there's no need for ruku or sujud or whatever. So, and this is how you perform the solar upon the dead.